That right there was my campsite last night, right at the PCT trailhead. And this, oh, sunshine. Look at that sky. Up here is the Stevens Pass summit, where I got dropped off last night. Shout out to Mo from Skycomish. She owns the coffee shop there, which I cannot recommend enough. From having plenty of snackies to some of the most delicious coffee that I've had on trail so far. Going there, Mo will probably be working, and they're just an awesome coffee shop. And she gave me a ride up here to the summit last night. So I was going to hike probably about 4 or 5 miles up into the trail last night and pitch somewhere, but I decided to get some trash that I need to throw away. I decided to stay here because I have really good service here, and I had to make a couple phone calls today. So that's what I'm doing, and figured while I'm at it, I'd sleep in, really just catch up on some sleep and rest. And I'm headed over to the ski lodge right now to top off my cell phone on charging and make a couple phone calls. And then get moving. I'm looking at probably headed out of here by 10 o'clock. I'll probably charge up for half hour. It rained almost all night. Gnarliest rain that I've experienced all trail. I had to dig a little ditch around my tent just to make sure that, that water didn't just flow all through my tent and the ground underneath it. So that was interesting and fun, but nonetheless, I got some great sleep and headed over here to get on with the morning. Stop, Stehekin. And just like that, back on trail. Tuesday, September 30th at 2 p.m. 117 miles to go until the town. Well, is Stehekin a town? Stehekin's next. Stevens Pass was awesome. Really good cell service. Got a new pole. It's shoulder season for them. They just closed for their summer season, and now it's like shoulder for them, and they'll be getting ready for winter season. And there's a gal, Clara. Shout out, Clara. Working the front desk. And I was like, hey, she's like, hey, there's a hiker box right here. Offered me free, unlimited, Nature Valley granola bars. And I was like, wow, thank you. And I said, you don't happen. She's like, are you looking for anything in particular in the hiker box? And I was like, yeah, I need a new trekking pole. And I looked behind the counter, and she's like, well, actually, there was one Lecky telescoping trekking pole, intact, with the strap fully working, with plenty of tip left. And she was like, this is just one off. I'm like, oh my God. So God is good, bro. God is great. And met a few hikers. Camilo from Denver, Smurf. I don't remember where Smurf's from. Freako, and Archive. And we were all hanging out. Everyone had a rough night in the rain last night, so everyone was drying their stuff, getting resupply boxes, charging 5 of us hikers. It was so awesome. And there's just this, right now, I was the first one to leave. Well, this other dude actually, I'm the second to leave. And there's just this vibe between us all right now, all of us hikers, that is like, we all know how close we are. We all know what we've been through in the challenges of the trail and the adventure. We all know that it's, coming to an end, and we're all fully aware of everything we have to deal with, everything we go through day in and day out, and it's amazing. We're tossing around electrolyte packets to each other like they aren't worth squat, because everyone, I don't know. It's just, there's not many of us left, and so when there's anything in hiker boxes, or people are getting their resupplies and they're like, oh, I have extra stuff, anyone need it? Oh, here you go. Yeah, actually, no, it's amazing how much we've all of us hikers out here have been through. So, and I'm just so excited, headed into this section solo. So we'll see how this goes. It's going to be awesome. I've never hiked in section K before, but it spans the same distance north-south as the Mountain Loop Highway covers, and that's where I grew up hiking a lot, in the Glacier Peak Wilderness, and that's where I'm going to be traveling through in this section. So section K, here we go. And it's starting out. Sometimes when you get onto the start of the trail for a new section, it has it's like a movie. It's like it kind of starts off, you got the intro, there's, right now, got a little bit of a downhill and a super wide, easily hikeable path. And I just know that it's going to turn into some amazing terrain. But, when that happens and how it happens, who knows? And that's the adventure right there, dude. So let's go. All right, 2:45. Almost 2 miles in. Just lost cell service. Lock X foils in attack position. Shout out all my Star Wars New Hope fans out there. Yurt. Gotta be one of my favorites. Oh, what a lovely water feature. Water feature. Look, there's lines cut into that wood. I'm not going to use that though. Lovely open spot here. Looks like people have camped here before. Perfect. Lovely. Sick views already. You can see how it's kind of hazy. Yeah, that's forest fire smoke. I don't remember which forest fire it is. But it's over in eastern Washington, and I think it's, last I checked, it was spreading like 1,000 acres an hour. Can you believe that? Imagine watching that. Shout out to all the forest fire firefighters, wilderness firefighters. Shout out to all the firefighters. If we love anyone, we love firefighters. Shout out. Yo. Let's go. September 30th, I enter the Henry M. Jackson Wilderness. Which is funny because I grew up in a town where there was a high school called Henry M. Jackson. I wonder if it's the same guy. Second official water feature of the day. This is Mason Creek. Nice. A lot of water coming up, including a couple lakes, so got half a liter. Time to keep walking. Haven't seen anyone yet. Another water feature. I don't know the name of this one, but check this out. Jeez. Wow. Look at this meadow. Oh my gosh. Jeez. All the colors, dude. I feel like I'm walking through a Hallmark card right now. Oh man. Shout out to going to craft stores. If you went to craft stores and fabric stores as a kid, we can be friends. I used to go to Joann Fabrics with my mom because she sewed a whole bunch. She did stuff like that, you know, not dinky little like crafts, like scrapbooking. And you know, hey, if you like scrapbooking and that's your thing, cool. Shout out to the scrapbookers. Shout out. But my mom would make me and my little sister clothes. She'd make clothes for the family. She would, you know, knit hats and scarves and socks and gloves that we'd actually wear, like, on the reg. So the fabric store and the craft store were common haunts of mine as a kid. I love when the trail opens up wide like this after being in some timber for a bit. Look at how smoky it is, dude. Dang. No trail closures. No trail closures yet that I've heard of. But look at that down there. I think that is Highway 2. Okay, now we're coming to this lake. Lake Valhalla. Alexa, play. I think it's Valhalla Calling by Judas Priest. Might be. The Halls of Valhalla by Judas Priest. Ooh. It's a good looking lake. It's a big lake. 5.6 miles in right now. So I'm doing just over 2.5 miles an hour because it's 4 o'clock right now. Might try and put in 2.5 more hours and maybe like 5 more miles. There's another lake in 5 miles. So that'll probably be my plan. Nice valley. My feet are so comfy in these sandals. Ooh, nice looking lake. That's Lake Valhalla. 5.6 miles from the Stevens Pass PCT trailhead. I've read about that lake in a score of day hiking and Washington State books. What is that? Oh, that's a soda can. Not going down there to get it, but not pretty. Just passed a day hiker. Gal, about my age. And passed her, I'm like, hey, how you doing? And she's like, oh, I'm glad I made it. I'm like, oh man. Hope she had a smooth day. Uh-oh, which way do I go? I'm thinking this way. All right, 5 o'clock, September 30th. Day continues. What do we got here? A sign. Passed a handful of day hikers today. Smithbrook Trail. Really pretty out here today. Get this highway of a trail. This is a really commonly hiked area though. As long as you're within like 10, 15 miles of Stevens Pass or Snoqualmie Pass, super well trafficked. Well, it is just after 6 p.m. and it's starting to get dark, and I'm just coming up on Janice Lake, which is going to be about 10.5 miles into the trail for the day. And I just met a 2023 hiker named Tomahawk. So shout out Tomahawk. Hung out at the Janice Lake Outlet River for a bit, and he was having supper and tying off some loose ends of the trail he didn't get to do in 23 because of fires. And yeah, awesome, swell, positive guy, talkative. I love that. And yeah, he let me know that probably better to take water up to the lake from that outlet because the lake water is so. And also, we chatted about Stehekin. He was just there 6 days ago, and he gave me the skinny on getting there. He said, make sure you double check the shuttle because it's 11 miles along a road from the trail to the towns to, area of Stehekin. Call it a town? And I asked him, is there any cell service in the next 20 or so miles? And he said, well, in about 15 miles, there's a little 0.2 mile section where he got some AT&T coverage, a couple of bars. But also he said that in Stehekin, I asked him, is there service there? He said he didn't have any. So I asked him about the Wi-Fi. Well, the general store there sells Wi-Fi for $5. And even if that's $5 an hour, that's still a really good price for having to pay for Wi-Fi out here, because I've seen some insane prices for Wi-Fi. And he said that there's a National Park Service building that if you go behind it, you can catch a little bit of Wi-Fi. Otherwise, he said there's a ferry there that goes across the lake that sometimes the captain of leaves its Starlink on at night. And so he said when he was there, a whole bunch of hikers were huddled around the dock because they were getting the Starlink Wi-Fi from this ferry boat there. So that being said, there is definitely Wi-Fi in Stehekin. So I'll be using some of that. He said that, but moving further north for the rest of the trail, not a lot of good cell service. We shall see, because T-Mobile is T-Mobile, and, I'm in my home state where, I got my phone. So maybe being close to where, your source for your phone or something, maybe that plays into how good your service is. But yeah, I'm just coming up to Lake Janice where I'm going to make camp. And feeling really good about this evening. Feeling super, super empowered and motivated and very at peace with myself. Hiking alone, I'm really, really digging that. I'm just loving soaking in. I feel like I've needed to soak in what I've accomplished and where I've come and how I've grown as a person and a hiker in general. And I think hiking solo is something I've needed to do to really feel that after all this time. And so I'm loving that. And I'm going to be loving getting into my quilt tonight because it is chilly. I'm wearing both pairs of my tights and my base layer under my shell, and I've got my neck gaiter on and my beanie here, and my hands are cold. Yeah, it just feels chilly. It's just like being out on a chilly fall evening now, I guess you'd say. But that guy Tomahawk, he said he's only seen about 6 thru hikers today going Nobo, that they all left Stevens Pass today. He said I'm the 7th he's seen, but also he said 6 days ago in Stehekin there was 30 or 40 hikers there. So back bubble, finishing up the trail, tying this hike off, and it is a really cool feeling. It actually feels really cool to be in the back bubble. Yeah, I've seen all but the first early start bubble. I've seen all the bubbles. I've seen the late March, the entire April, May bubbles, and now I am out here over 6 months in. Over 6 months. It's got to be 6 months and a week at this point. But I'll do the math on that later. For now, time to get to camp. Stock camp. Maybe I'll go to the stock camp. No, I'm not going to go to the stock camp. Ooh, a toilet. Maybe I should go use that before I camp. Let's go check out the toilet. That's the cool thing about some of these more commonly hiked trails, especially here in Washington, is they usually have backcountry toilets. Oh, this one's back here. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and pay this a visit before it's dark and spooky. Ooh, not bad. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and pass on that toilet, and I'll just dig a cat hole somewhere. That's pretty nasty. You know, I've always wondered, how does it go? Because, you know, they put crazy in the self-composting pit toilets of the trailheads. Those always smell like ammonia, because I think they put ammonia in there. They put something in them. If anyone watching this knows, chirp in. But they got to put something in them that helps them compost. And they don't do that in the backcountry toilets like that. But I've always wondered, like, how do they clean those? Do they bring out mules? Do rangers come out and dig them out, and then choppers come out and do something? I don't know. But how do they clean backcountry toilets like that? Camp area. Ooh, I see a lake. Now, camping by a lake, like right by a lake, is not always advisable because cold temperatures settle and moisture off the lake and whatnot. I've had some very cold, very condensated nights sleeping next to lakes, but you know what? There is sometimes just nothing like waking up lakeside, dude. Oh man. All right. Wow. What a cool campsite. Oh, dude. This is awesome. Oh. I think this looks good right here. Let's go check out the water over here. I think I might be the only one at this lake. Ooh, cool. Wow. Ooh, cool. What a lake. Uh-oh, look at that. Raindrop. Drop top. Gray skies. Pitch my tent. That's a thought. Oh, man. It's going to be another rainy night. That would suit. That would fit with the forecast. It really would. That would fit with the forecast. All right, I'm going to get pitched. Bada boom. And that is the tarp tent Stratospire 2. Pretty tight pitch. I'm with it. Get everything under there so it's dry. Oh. All right, 7 o'clock. I got a lovely fire going in the fire pit. And I'm off to collect some wood right now. Some other thru hikers pulled up. Frico, who I met at the ski lodge, and then a couple other foreigners I've never met before. So that's awesome. Gonna have some company tonight, which is very welcome because I thought I was gonna be all by my lonesome tonight. Time to find some more firewood and not find a Sasquatch. And that's a wrap for September 30th. 10 and a half miles in, a bunch of these other hikers just pulled up to camp right before dark. 10 and a half miles seems good. Fairly uneventful day back on trail, but you gotta love Neros. Tomorrow, another actual proper mile day, and 107 miles to Stehekin. Let's go.